Hello, this is Persia 007 coming at you with the second episode of the sit down show, uh, which is going to be titled My Opinion of YouTuber Apologies. But before I get to that, I want to kind of talk about the Chris Hansen video I did a few days ago. I do apologize if I sound out of place on that video. I just had an opinion about. Uh, Hang on. That's the welcome message there. Um, Somebody on my video said that I was not rehearsing. As you guys may know on here, I don't usually write a script on what I'm going to say on here. I just come on here and say what is on my mind at the time being or on the spur of the moment. And if I did kind of repeat myself multiple times, I do apologize. I'm not the best speaker in the world. Of course, I don't really intend to be. I do intend to do my best on here and talk as clearly as I can on here, but sometimes that may not, I guess, work for some people. But today's video is going to be about what I think about YouTubers who apologize on here, especially influencers such as Shane Dawson, um, uh, PewDiePie, big YouTubers, stuff like that, and Logan Paul and stuff like that. Uh, As far as the apology from Shane Dawson, I'm still in the middle of watching the apology video. I've seen it one time, but I didn't watch it all the way through. He was apologizing again for using blackface in his skits and making racial remarks, quote unquote jokes, making uh, pedophile jokes, going on a podcast and saying something very offensive about a 4-year-old being brutally sexually assaulted and murdered, and and uh, and mainly for being not a very good person. And since his apology, he has more or less fell off the face of this earth. He has not been on Twitter. He hasn't re-uploaded. And my opinion on that is, I think, is because since all three of his channels have been demonetized, there's probably not really any reason for him to put up any more content. But if he really wants to change, he's going to have to put something out there sooner or later. He's going to have to put a tweet out reassuring his fans that everything's okay, that he does incline on changing, he does incline on doing better as a public figure, aka influencer, and a video creator. You could do stuff on here without doing offensive jokes, without saying stuff about pedophiles, and mainly doing stuff on here that would piss people off on here. What he was doing before all this broke out, he was doing multiple docuseries, which I think he was going in a good direction after all these things apparently occurred back in 2012, 13, 14, whenever. And it looks like most of the stuff that he is being accused of happened around the time that he was doing his TV series and his movie, Not Cool. And I'm going to say now, I want to accept the apology of Shane Dawson, but I'm not ready to yet. I don't think I feel ready to accept his apology. I know before I said I thought his apology was fake, but I believe his apology may be genuine, but I just don't know if I want to accept it because I feel he let all of his supporters down. He let all of his collaborators down. He let all of his fan base down by doing all the stuff that he did 10 years ago, whenever this was. And just like Logan Paul, when he went to the suicide forest in Japan, filmed that dead body, he let all of his fans down. And he lost his revenue, I think, for 2 or 3 months before he actually got back on the platform. And why are they making such of a big example out of Shane Dawson? I don't know. Maybe because he's the king of YouTube. Who knows? But I don't think anybody else should be treated less because of him. I think everybody should be treated the same way as Shane Dawson. Anybody gets called out, a public influence or a public figure, such as PewDiePie, for example, if he did anything like that, I would expect the same reprimand for him as I would for Shane Dawson or Onision or some who else? And a lot of other big YouTubers out there. I would expect the same thing. If as we do things on here that are deemed to be wrong or not moral on here, we are expected to make apology videos on here. And when we make an apology, it doesn't, that doesn't mean we don't apologize and then drop off Twitter or social media and be silent. I mean, he did do a video on Wednesday flipping out on Instagram Live. Shane Dawson did, and like that's going to really help his case on Instagram. And but I don't know. I'm not ready to accept his so-called "I'm sorry" video or taking accountability video just yet, until I see change done by him as a public figure, and he puts out a public statement on Twitter, even to his Twitter followers, that he is truly sorry and he's going to do whatever he can to change. And he did say if we don't want to accept his apology, he is 100% fine with that, which I think he should be. I don't think he should expect everybody to forgive him on the spot, because all the stuff that came out, whether it's a decade old or not, or 15 years old, it will come back around and you will be called out for it. So I really don't know. I just been sitting here thinking about the whereabouts of Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star and all this other stuff and what's been going on. And again, there ain't been really no updates, as I can tell. Of course, it's Sunday, so it's the weekend, and there's not going to be really any drama going on right now. But who knows? But I really don't know. So it's pretty much my take on the Shane Dawson thing. But as far as the apologies go, you make an apology video on here, you have to mean it. You have to say it from the bottom of your heart, not from your mind, just because people want to hear your apology video. I think, again, I think Shane Dawson, when he did his apology video, I kind of think he did it to get the heat off him and put the heat on somebody else, is what I think he did. Whether he was truly remorseful for everything he's done, I don't know. Is he sincere? I don't know. I can't read his mind. I can't read his gestures. There's people on YouTube that can read body language. I'm not in the place to do that, but I just I kind of think that apology came at the spur of a moment after another apology video came out before him. But from what I've seen on the Instagram video, whether that was done before the taking accountability video or after, it doesn't make him look good. And he almost called TD the so-called B word, and he said, I can't do that because I don't want to be mean. I don't want to be a mean person to anybody. But you can tell he's very distraught on the Instagram Live video. You guys can see it on the internet, Shane Dawson's Instagram Live, and you can see the 2.5 minute meltdown video of his, and you can hear his partner in the background telling him to get off Instagram Live. But that just made him look like a nut. That made him look like somebody who was going insane, freaking out, and he should have known this stuff was going to come back around to him and nip him in the butt. I would think, you do something, with a minor or do offensive jokes, it's going to come back to bite you in the rear end. It's going to haunt you, and these influencers on here that make millions of dollars need to understand that. Just they can't hide behind their stacks of cash or their fancy house or fancy cars. They can't do that. They can't hide from people. When they do offensive stuff on this platform, they're going to get called out. And I do agree on them getting called out. Now, whether they need to be canceled for it, who knows? I don't think they should be canceled unless there is a criminal investigation that goes on and they're found out to be guilty and they're sent to prison, whatever, then they have a right to be canceled. But I don't think it's public opinion's choice to cancel somebody out. Let this Shane Dawson guy show his change. He apologized. Let him show that he has changed. And if he hasn't changed, then he'll continuously get called out. And we're going to continuously monitor him through social media. There's a lot of people out there that's keeping track of all this stuff. And, you know, we're subscribed to somebody. We expect them to be a role model for the entire audience, not just be somebody who wants to do his own thing just to make a quick cash grab or make a quick buck off of AdSense, whatever it might be. But that's why I think YouTube has demonetized him. They want to see if he's actually going to put any more content out there that is going to make him look bad, because what he's doing is making YouTube look bad, making YouTube the platform for pedophiles and a platform for racism and of course derogatory behavior in the form of so-called joking behavior. Whether he's truly joking or not, who knows? There's a lot of people on here that cannot take a joke, you know, and that could be a problem too. But I mean, if he's trying to do it for comedian purposes, you know, trying to do it for comedy, and you know, then there shouldn't be nothing wrong with it. But you know, I think you should still apologize anyway, because it would be offensive to most people, and that goes for not just Shane, but goes for everybody else that makes a joke about anything that would kind of go off the wrong way with somebody. But I think YouTube apologies are not really held up to their standard. I think YouTubers, you know, these big YouTubers apologize, and they think that they say the famous phrase, "Oh, I am sorry for what I've done," that nothing's going to happen to them, that they're not going to lose their AdSense, they're not going to lose their sponsors, they're not going to lose their merch on their marketplace. They don't expect their books to be taken down from shelves, and they think the apologies are going to wipe their slate clean. But they don't realize that once you apologize comes the punishment. You are then punished or sanctioned. I guess on here you'd be considered sanctioned on here for a given amount of time, whether it be indefinitely, permanently, or a few months, few days, few weeks, whatever it may be, until they see that you can change. And if you guys want to know too, you can still buy Shane Dawson's book on Google Play. You can still download the ebook off of Google Play for $13. If you guys still want to buy his 2 books, they're not completely removed. They may be off of Target shelves, but you can still buy them online off of Google, and now Amazon, I ain't for sure, but his books have not been completely taken down. So I'm going to tell you that right now, because I found that out to be true. And you can also, I think, still buy his merch if you wanted to go on and buy his hoodies, shirts, and other stuff like that. So he could still sell his merch apparently, and but his makeup's not being sold anymore, and his AdSense revenue has been taken down. But he's still able to sell his merchandise and sell his book to Google. So for Target to take his book off the shelves is kind of pointless, because you know you get it from other stores, not just from Target. Unless that's where he first sold his book, I don't know. And I think the book was "It Gets Worse" with Shane Dawson. It's called "It Gets Worse." So I don't see canceling him completely. I can see maybe taking the AdSense down for what he's done, but now, say if he would actually get in legal trouble, such as criminal investigation or something like that, then I could see pulling the book off the shelves or taking his makeup down or whatever it may be. But I think he may have got a triple dose of cancellation. I think he's gotten canceled like more or less 3 times over. Got canceled by Target. He got canceled by Morphe. He got canceled by YouTube via Twitter and everything else. He got canceled like 2 or 3 times, and that's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. But again, if you guys make apology videos on here, just be sincere and mean what you say, and try your best not to make the same mistakes over and over again. And I know Shane has made apology videos, I think, a couple years back. I think he did one back in 2018. He did one in 2014. And apparently he's been apologizing about this racist stuff before, and he's, for some reason, got called out for it again. And he's was just apologizing for it again in this latest video. And I've noticed he's taken a lot of videos down off of his channel, and he's privated a lot of videos on his channel. And I'm kind of wondering what's going on there. If they're controversial videos, why don't he just take them down completely? So we could see that he's making the change. He's taking these offensive videos off, not privating them. And privating videos with his mother, I don't see like that's a justified thing. He shouldn't have to do that. He shouldn't have to privatize his entire channel just because he got canceled or called out. So I just don't think it's right, you know. And if he's not able to handle this backlash, then maybe it's time for him to retire. It's time for Shane Dawson to literally end his YouTube career and just take the money he made off this platform, retire, and do something else. Invest his money in stocks, trades, whatever it might be, and just let this social media go. Because apparently he cannot hack it. He cannot take the heat. Otherwise, he wouldn't have went on Instagram Live freaking out about a person coming forward about him and Jeffree Star going against James Charles. So that's all I have to say. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but I wish you guys the best. I hope you had a good holiday this weekend, and just be safe out there, and take care, and be healthy, wear your mask, and I wish you the best for this upcoming next week. Goodbye.